Well, we are thawing out here in the Northeast from the record-breaking cold spell, but the freezing weather was a great selling point for our next guest, whose warm soup is the perfect antidote to those cold sniffles.
Zoup, with a Z, has more than 57 locations in the U.S. and now Canada, with about 30 more locations set to open this year. So what led a one-time lawyer to create his budding fast casual soup chain? Joining us now is that guy, Zoup founder and CEO Eric Ersher. Oh boy, I could use some right now because you have just an amazing menu. But let's talk about your expansion. What's happening right now, and are you amazed, surprised, or totally expectant of what has become a very fast-growing opportunity?
Well, we've been at it for a long time. We opened our first store in September of 1998, so we just celebrated our 15-year anniversary. So growth has been good. We're very, very pleased with how things are coming along, but we've always been very deliberate about our growth. You know, too many early success franchisors grew too quickly, opened up in far-flung locations, and they just didn't have the support or the distribution to be able to help those franchisees. And we knew early on we did not want to make that mistake. So we've always been very disciplined and very deliberate about our growth.
Well, you say 15 years doesn't sound like a long time to develop 50 stores, but I'm wondering in that time whether it's become easier or more difficult, because you're continuing to open new stores, to do business. A lot of people complain it's become harder. What do you think?
Well, you know, I think that there is more complexity than there ever has been, but for me personally, you know, it used to be a one-man shop and then a three-man shop, so now we have an infrastructure and we have specialists that help us to support the franchisees and to make sure that we are operating to the Zoup brand standards, which have always been at the core of everything that we've done.
I love some of your menu items, and when you talk about flavors, you don't just go the usual chicken noodle. Yes, you have the lobster bisques, but if we put some of them up on the screen, you've got the Roadhouse chili, the sirloin in it, you've got spicy crab and rice, ginger butternut squash, chicken pot pie is a soup.
Oh, it's one of our best-selling soups. You know, it seems like people are interested in you know, more things culinary than ever before. So having hundreds of soups, serving 12 a day, they rotate every day, gives people an opportunity to try different flavors, different ingredients, different varieties that they might not otherwise try.
So why not in New York? You're not in New York City, as far as I know, unless you open a new one without me knowing about it.
So I don't know if you're aware of this, but rent is really expensive.
Yeah,
unfortunately, we are.
You know, maybe,
aware of that, yeah.
Maybe one day we'll be in New York. It is a different economic model in New York, but with the right franchisees.
Let me just throw something out. Sure. Applebee's, which is sort of your demo, if I'm not mistaken. It's kind of the middle of the road demo in terms of financial position. They are doing extremely well. They have over 30 stores here in Manhattan. They found that niche. Couldn't you do the same?
We very well could. You know, God knows we've got the high density of white-collar population that drives our business, but it's just unknown to us. We have deliberately expanded in the northern half of the United States. When we first started growing, our first franchise was in Michigan, then Ohio, Midwest, East, and now we're in the northern half of the United States and Ontario. We've always been very deliberate about our growth, and we want to be able to open stores in an environment, in a demographic, and climate that we're familiar with. These are franchisees, and they come to us because we have systems and expertise. So going into New York does create some complexity.
Well, this cold weather across the upper half of the United States, how has that, I would imagine, positively affected your business?
It's been great. We love the winter. We love the fall. People start thinking of soup. It's a great season for us. So we're thrilled.
How often do you check the Weather Channel?
Well, you know, it's funny because when I first started the company, I used to check the Weather Channel every single morning, but it wasn't to see what sales, you know, how good they would be and how things were going to turn out at the end of the week. It was to see if we'd be able to make payroll. So it's a lot different now, and I'm glad those days are behind us.
Eric, I have a ground floor studio apartment that I bought when I was very young, many years ago, on West 73rd Street. You and I should talk. You and I should talk. Great maintenance on that. I think that's your location, okay?
Okay.
All right.
All right, we'll talk about it. Maybe, you know, maybe you could be the next franchisee.
Who knows?
David,
who knows?
Perfect.
It's life after television.
And then IPO.
But I'm not leaving. No worries.
Take it public, Eric, one day, and we'll be here for you to cover that. Thank you much.
All right. Well, you know, In the meantime, you can go to grocery stores and you can try really good broth.
Yes, we love the broth.
Yeah.
People are drinking that.
It's the first
for the late
chicken
afternoon.
broth.
Eric Ersher, we got to leave it at that. Eric, I know you want to continue to sell ad
I do.
Thank you very much, man. Good to see you.
That's great.
Eric Ersher, Zoup, Z-O-U-P.
Want the spicy crab. Okay, blood money may take on